Hey everyone, let's dive right into today's explainer, one that completely shatters our conventional ideas about wealth and what it takes to actually succeed. We're going to follow the story of a high schooler named Ethan Carter. His extraordinary journey, well, it's going to redefine everything we think we know about achievement. It's an incredibly powerful narrative about perseverance, those invisible struggles people carry, and what it really takes to rise above your circumstances.
They laughed at his shoes, but one exam changed everything. We're looking at a story where a young guy's true character was entirely masked by his worn-out clothes. When people looked at Ethan, literally all they saw was poverty, They judged the faded hoodie. They judged his stitched-together backpack. But as we'll see, the drive inside this kid was an absolute force of nature that nobody could have anticipated.
Section 1. The Divide, Jefferson High. To get the full picture, we really need to understand the status quo of this town. At Jefferson High, the daily reality for most students was pulling up in luxury cars, rocking designer brands, and just laughing loudly without a single care in the world. Money wasn't just a convenience here, it was the sole metric of your worth. And then there's Ethan's gritty reality. Arriving on a beat-up old bicycle, wearing torn shoes, quietly enduring the constant whispers from classmates joking that he must be, quote, allergic to money. It is a classic tale of the haves and the have-nots, but trust me, the stakes here are astronomically high.
And that brings us to a ticking clock. 6 weeks. The teachers announce that the final state exams are exactly 6 weeks away. Now, these aren't your run-of-the-mill tests. These scores decide absolutely life-altering scholarship opportunities. While the wealthy kids roll their eyes and look completely bored by the announcement, Ethan is immediately locked in, taking furious notes. For him, this countdown is quite literally everything.
Section 2. The Hidden Struggle, Ethan's Real Life.
So while his classmates are heading off to expensive restaurants and shopping malls after the bell rings, Ethan rides his old bike across town to a completely different world. He's hiding severe financial hardship. He lives in this tiny, cramped apartment right above a grocery store. His mom is incredibly sick, coughing heavily just trying to do the laundry. Their fridge is practically empty, and unpaid bills are stacked high on the table. He even lies to his mom, telling her he ate a big lunch at school just so she won't worry about him. But the heaviest burden hanging over his head? A bright red final notice electricity warning.
And that night, the emotional stakes peak. The power gets shut off. Pitch black darkness fills the room, and Ethan's little sister, Emma, is completely terrified. She looks up and asks, "Will the lights come back?" Man, you can just feel the weight of the world on this kid's shoulders. Ethan has to force this brave smile and reassure her that they will. It's a truly heartbreaking moment that really highlights how he's the absolute rock of his family.
But this is exactly where we see Ethan's true character shine through. After his mom and sister finally fall asleep, he doesn't throw in the towel. No way. He takes his textbooks outside into the biting winter cold and studies under the glowing neon sign of the grocery store across the street. The store owner actually notices and brings him hot chocolate, recognizing that kindred spirit of hard work. I mean, it shows a level of raw discipline and determination that is just awe-inspiring.
Section 3. The Crucible, Mounting Pressure.
As you'd expect, the bullying at school is intensifying, right, as his family's situation grows dangerously desperate. But then, one night, Sophia, one of his wealthy classmates, is driving by with her dad and accidentally discovers his secret. She sees Ethan sitting right there on the curb, violently shivering in the freezing air, just solving math problems under a streetlight. And in that single instant, her entire perspective shifts. She realizes he isn't lazy, he isn't weird, he's fighting an immense, unseen battle that no one at school knows anything about.
Meanwhile, back at school, the bullying hits an absolute boiling point. A cruel kid named Jake dumps Ethan's backpack out, and a financial hardship scholarship application falls onto the floor. Jake publicly mocks him, calling him a charity student, while the rest of the kids just stand there and laugh. When Sophia privately asks Ethan why he didn't fight back, he drops this incredibly powerful piece of wisdom. He says, because proving people wrong is better than arguing. He flat out refuses to stoop to their level. But things are about to get even harder. The stakes completely skyrocket when his mother collapses from her illness. Ethan finds himself standing in the hospital, listening to a devastating warning from the doctor. She needs medical treatment immediately, and obviously those bills are piling up fast. At this moment, as he looks at the scholarship posters pulled up on his phone, the upcoming state exam is no longer just about getting good grades. It is literally about sheer survival for his family.
So his preparation becomes unbelievably grueling. We're talking studying outside in the freezing cold at 2 a.m., working a part-time job at that same grocery store by 6 a.m., then going in and facing relentless bullying at school by 8 a.m. before retreating back to the library to study even more. It is such a sharp contrast to his rich classmates who are out partying and laughing off the exam, saying, "Oh, it's just a test." For Ethan, it is life or death. Though wonderfully, Sophia begins to secretly share her practice papers with him, and a real friendship starts to grow.
During one of those quiet study sessions, Sophia asks him a question that honestly we'd probably all ask. How on earth does he manage to stay positive through so much misery? And Ethan responds with this profound outlook. He tells her, when life gives you very little, you learn to value everything. It's that exact mindset shift that allows him to keep pushing forward when he has literally every reason in the world to just give up.
Section 4. The ultimate test. Exam day.
Those 6 weeks are finally up, and we arrive at the massive state exam center. And the contrast in that room is incredible. As soon as the timer starts, the wealthy students who completely blew off their prep, well, they panic. The questions are exceptionally difficult, they're sweating, they're whispering, they are visibly stressed out. But Ethan? Battle-tested by a truly grueling life, he's remarkably calm. He writes with total confidence and, to the absolute shock of the entire exam hall, including Jake and the teachers, he stands up and turns his paper in before anyone else.
Section 5. The true meaning of success.
So the agonizing waiting period finally gives way to results day. The school auditorium is packed to the brim with students and parents. The principal walks onto the stage and announces that the highest state exam score in the entire district belongs to Ethan Carter. I mean, just imagine the shock in that room. Sophia immediately starts clapping, and soon it turns into a roaring standing ovation from the very kids who used to mock his clothes. And Ethan doesn't just get a good score. He earns a full scholarship to the prestigious Harvard preparatory program.
The shift in social perspective here is just massive. Ethan goes from being judged for his torn clothes and mocked as a quote-unquote charity student to achieving the highest score in the state and earning the respect of the entire school. He won that Harvard prep scholarship. Even Jake, the main bully, approaches Ethan after the ceremony, lowers his head in total shame and apologizes. And Ethan, completely true to his remarkable character, gently forgives him, just saying, "It's okay."
The ultimate takeaway from Ethan's journey really boils down to this. True wealth is not material. It isn't measured by expensive clothes or luxury cars or how much cash you have. It's measured by courage, by kindness, and by relentless perseverance in the face of total adversity. That is the true richness of heart that Ethan used to overcome impossible odds, securing a better life, a better apartment, and a much brighter future for his mom and sister.
I want to leave you all with a thought to chew on today. Who is fighting a battle you can't see? Ethan's story is a powerful, real-world reminder to never judge someone by their clothes or their immediate circumstances, because at the end of the day, kindness sees what money absolutely cannot. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and remember to keep looking deeper.